I have made a mistake. Not once, but several times.
Oh!
Which means I have countless sleepless nights. I've been crying in the shower. I've been overeating. I've been feeling terrible, wasting time on YouTube. So I asked the community, and 84% said that they experienced the same mistake as I did. It is really common, and it's overscoping and feature creeping. I believe almost every game developer does this once or twice at least. Some people never get rid of it. Me, I've been doing it for almost every game that I've been making, which is crazy to think about. So I'm going to look at why do I make this mistake? Why do I keep making it? Why is it essential to fix? And how can we fix it? Those are some of the subjects. It relates to game developers who makes their first game, your second or even 10th game. I believe that if you have a tendency just to do like a little bit of overscoping or feature creeping, it is really good for you to watch this video. Which means that your game just simply is getting too big. If you like this kind of content, I make a lot of content like this, and I hope you will give it a thumbs up. I always had the mantra that it's important to fail awesome, which means that you might fail, but at least you're gonna do your best and try as hard as you can. So I worked on several games, and we did a crowdfunding for a game some years ago. We worked 3 years on just making a demo, and I think it was a good thing that we didn't get the funding back then, because it was a really ambitious and big project, which we were never gonna make. Or meanwhile, actually, we also made a small game called Skater Dash. It was a mobile game, and that was supposed to only take 2-3 months, but it ended up taking about 8 months, which again is just a testament to how messed up I am, I guess, but also that it's so easy to make this mistake. KNIGHTOUT was supposed to be a 3-month project, and now it's more than 4 years. I would say with KNIGHTOUT is a bit more special, but it's still happening. It's still the same thing happening. Human Rocket Person is a game that I made with my partner in the company, and in this case we succeeded in almost not overscoping. It was supposed to be 1 month. It took 2.5, maybe 3 months to complete. So that was our most successful game in terms of making it simple, making it small.
Great success.
This is bad because it takes way too long to complete games, and if I spend 5 years on each game, then maybe I can make 5 games. Or maybe 10 games. I mean, it's way too long time. So this is just like an endless cycle of nasty stuff that you don't want to be a part of, in my opinion. So it's something that I struggle with every project. I always try to scale it down, and only have the most important stuff in it. And sometimes you can go beyond that. Sometimes you can add stuff that's not really that important, but for you it just adds a lot of value. For example, we added hats to KNIGHTOUT, and I think that's really important because it doesn't make the game play more fun, but it makes it more fun to play in some way. It's hard to explain, but I mean, it's not necessary, but it just adds a lot of value. The more comfortable you get with estimating the time you spend on different aspects of your game, let's say you make the first prototype or there's a specific feature that you want, the more times you try to estimate it, the more precise your estimations will be. And when you can estimate it better, you get a more clear idea of the whole game in general. So that means your planning will be much more spot on as you do it more and more. That's the way to fix it. Because once you know how big your project is, then you will be able to say, okay, this is too big, I need to scale it down. If you work on a project and you don't know how big it is, and suddenly work 3 years on it, and you are like, oh shit, I'm only halfway, you need to work 3 more years on it, then it's too late. You already spent 3 years on it. So it's so important that you get a realistic idea about the plan, and that's also why if you don't know how long it will take, try to make a small prototype, see how long that takes. Keep in mind that it'll probably take a lot longer than you're expecting. So if you're saying like, I will make a game in 3 months, it'll probably be 6 months. If you say I'll make a game in a year, it'll probably be 2 years. And it holds up. I mean, that's I was like, when I first heard that saying, I was like, yeah, that's not how it is. But then now I'm like, yeah, that is how it is. Anyways, once you have a plan, you need to stick to it. If you keep adding and piling on, I mean, it's so tempting to be like, oh, if I just added this feature, the rest would be so much better. And in some cases, I would say go for it, because it's important, but also weigh how much effort you need to put in. If it's a small effort, it's good, but if it's like a lot of work and a lot of time you need to dedicate to the specific feature, don't do it. It's probably not worth it. And even if it is worth it, you can always add later. Once you have your plan, stick to it and trust your initial idea. Because I think feature creep also comes from uncertainty that you don't know if your game is good enough. And I know I made this mistake with KNIGHTOUT. You're thinking like, oh, I think it's good, but it could be a little bit better. If I just add this small feature, it'll be a little bit better. And you keep going, and when do you stop? When can you stop? And we added side-scrolling maps to KNIGHTOUT, and we did that because there was a little bit of effort to it, but a lot of value that would come out. And I mean, when I say little, there was still a lot of work, there was still a lot I had to do to get it in, but I weighted through the amount that I would gain from it and that I think that it would add to the game, and that was much higher than the effort I had to put in. So that's why I wanted to do it, and that's why I did it. You can add on with the idea, you can have a lot of nice to have features. This could be awesome, this could be awesome, but be aware you can always cut. How often do you cut stuff from your game? Probably not often. And that is a way to keep your scope down. That's a way to not make the mistake of working years on your game. It's so important just to cut the stuff that's not worth it and keep the essential parts. And that will also make a better game because you can focus on the core. And you can focus on what's important. There was a comment that said this could be a rite of passage thing. And I think so too, because when you start out, you have no idea how much time it takes to make a game. You're just like, I'll make this and we'll see how it goes. And then you realize, damn it, I can't make a MMO. It takes way too long and I don't know how to make a network work or anything like that. So then you're like, okay, maybe I should make the next Half-Life game. And you start doing that and then you realize, damn, I don't know anything about animation or whatever. So you got to have some experience to know what you can and what you can't do. Let me know your experiences down below. I would love to hear your struggles with finishing a game or your struggles with adding too much, scope creeping, whatever. I would love to hear it. Comment below and remember to like. I have another video that you could watch. I have several videos that I think you would enjoy, all about how to become a better game developer. So cheers, I'll see you in the next one.